Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out Venom number 18. And in Venom number 17, we left off with the 4 Life Foundation symbiotes showing up at Rex's old warehouse, where the maker is designing a piece of equipment that can extract the codexes from individuals that have been previously inhabited by a symbiote. And the maker put up a heck of a fight, but in the end, one of the symbiotes was able to make it back to where Dylan Brock and Normie Osborne were hiding out. Lucky for them, the Sleeper Symbiote showed up just in time to save both their hides. Or maybe I should say save their spines. And that gets us caught up into the beginning of Venom number 18. Which I have to drop a public service announcement. If you are not picking up Venom at your local LCS, make sure you're doing it, man. Because this book has been spot on since the beginning of the run. Even during the pause for War of the Realms, this book was still good. And all indications are that Donny Cates is going to be on this for a while, so definitely make sure you add it to your pull list if you haven't already. Anyways, back to the book. We start with Sleeper, and he talks about how he's been exploring the cosmos to find answers. And when he does find them, he kind of wishes he didn't know. And he kind of explains how he just kind of explored the cosmos. He was out there, and then suddenly, from across the void, he felt it. Something pulling him. He felt something speaking to him, something calling to him, and it brought him to this planet. But when he arrived at Clintar, the planet of symbiotes, the planet itself tried to claim him. And while Sleeper fought against this mass, trying to bring him into the thrall, he saw within it, inside the core, Null. And when he connected with Null for that little bit, Null told him, "I am coming. I will be free." Luckily, Sleeper was able to use one of his unique powers, his chemokinesis, to create a powerful acid basically to burn his way out from these other symbiotes. And after that, he said he instinctually knew he had to get back to Earth, and he had to be there when the Black King arrived. And of course, all of this put him right at the feet of Dylan Brock. And while the Sleeper and Dylan really seem to trust each other, they really seem to be connecting, and it seems like they possibly at one point might bond, and Dylan served possibly as a new host. It's not to be at the moment, because the maker shows up and absolutely nails the Sleeper with a sonic blast. And while Dylan quickly tries to explain to the maker that, look, the Sleeper is one of the good guys, what are you doing? The maker just shoots him right down and says, look, you certainly can't trust these things, and you definitely don't need to be naming them. From there, we find out that the maker has already extracted all the symbiotes from those individuals that were infected from earlier. Not only that, he now has the Sleeper symbiote containerized as well. Not only that, he's taken and he's begun this Codex extraction process on one of these individuals, and this guy is screaming out in pain. And you can see this sick smile on the maker's face as he just kind of says to himself, they shouldn't even be conscious. Oh well. Obviously, after hearing all this screaming, Normie is going to be freaked out. Dylan's still of the mindset that, look, Spider-Man and Venom said you ain't doing nothing until they get back. And whatever it takes, I'm not going to let them touch you, dude. So he starts trying to figure out a way, how would Eddie solve this problem? And when he sits there, he thinks about it. He knows the maker has all these proximity alarms and alerts and everything else. What could he do? How could he do it? And what would Eddie do? And he decides that Eddie would do something, just something stupid. So all that being said, what Dylan does, he gears up like Rambo. He saunters out there to the maker and informs him, look, we're leaving and I don't think you're going to do anything about it. And the maker kind of shrugs it off and says, why? What are you going to do? You going to kill me? And Dylan's got this smile on his face. He goes, no, because you're about to be a little busy. And when he opens fire, he doesn't open fire necessarily on the maker. He opens fires on the containers containing the symbiotes. Now, for whatever reason, he only manages to blast the symbiotes that are actually under Carnage's control, and he doesn't free the Sleeper, but those 4 symbiotes manage to quickly swarm towards the maker and overwhelm him before he can enact all the security protocols for the warehouse. And the next thing you're left thinking is, yeah, that may have been stupid, because all 4 of these symbiotes, they managed to form a hybrid. And when I say hybrid, I mean this insane looking monstrosity that is coming after Dylan and Normie. So they quickly bust outside, but this thing busts through the wall right behind him, and they don't get a few steps down the road before Normie's getting scooped up. And this thing, looking straight like the xenophobe from Aliens, holds up Normie and says, and you, little goblin, are in our way. And he tosses him aside, and then you realize that they aren't after him. Instead, they're after Dylan. And of course, since the Maker knows, that means now that the symbiotes know. And what they know is that Dylan actually possesses the Codex from his mother. And as they continue at him, that's when he freaks out and he has his eyes go gray. But before you can see what's going to happen, or if he's going to transform, or what's going on there, suddenly you get a big old fist come across the face of the symbiotes. Then you get a slash. And next thing you know, you get Dylan standing there, eyes just wide open. And you have the Thing, Captain America, SpiderMan, and Wolverine all jumping in for the fight. And this, of course, is tying back to Absolute Carnage number 2, the main storyline, where Spider-Man and Venom split. Spider-Man went off to go get a bunch of the heroes who had been, or at some time had possessed a symbiote, while Venom went off in the other direction to find those less than reputable individuals who may have held a symbiote at some time. Well, not may have held a symbiote. They held a symbiote at some point, or he wouldn't be going to get them. So overall, my review of the books is that Venom is capitalizing off the Absolute Carnage storyline, as it should be. Eddie Brock is basically one of the main characters going throughout this storyline, and Donny Cates is both writing Venom and the Absolute Carnage main storyline. So it stands to reason that Venom is going to benefit from this event. I'm glad that Donny Cates kept the Venom title during this portion of the run, because it feels right. I also, even though Ryan Stegman isn't drawing Venom, I think Iban Coello, the artist, and Rain Barreto are both doing a really good job. I think Venom, compared to the other tie-ins and the other Absolute Carnage stuff, feels the closest to the actual main storyline. It looks like it feels like it, reads like it. Honestly, Venom is probably in the running for the top ongoing book right now from Marvel. Probably just waiting on Immortal Hulk and Al Ewing to make a couple missteps to take that top spot. I thought the shot of the Thing, Captain America, Spider-Man, and Wolverine all showing up was really cool. I'm also very interested to see what passed down to Dylan exactly through his mother. Is it just the Codex, or is it something more? Has something developed from the Codex in him that is going to make him his own superhero going forward? And maybe we're getting some parallels between Dylan and Sleeper, and that Sleeper basically kind of turned off his host and doesn't really need him or use him. Maybe Dylan, through this process, is going to have those symbiote abilities once they awaken and he's able to use them, and he's not going to have all the drawbacks of the dual personality. I am, of course, completely speculating on that, but really want to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments about it. What is going on with Dylan? Is he going to have some kind of symbiotic ability, some kind of similar power set? We shouldn't have to wait long for it. Absolute Carnage number 3 is coming out this upcoming week. Looking forward to picking that up. Make sure you get to your LCS and pick that up as well. Speaking of Absolute Carnage number 3, I have about 3 or 4 pages here that I'm going to show as a preview for Absolute Carnage number 3. I hope you enjoy them. The book starts with Miles Morales falling into the abyss, and Eddie speaking, saying, "I lost a kid. Carnage turned him, took him, dragged him, drowning into the black and red. The Carnage hordes grow stronger by the day. He's collected dozens of codices so far, ripped the pieces of symbiote from living and dead, and we are losing. I'm losing everything, and I don't know how to win." And this fight is getting real serious. Miles Morales, Carnageized, has Eddie down on the ground, has them both down, and it's finally getting to the point where Venom is fighting for his own survival, not just Eddie Brock's. And because of that, when Eddie Brock manages just to get this little speck of a chance against Normie Osborne, when Eddie Brock brings up his grandson Normie, and Norman just has this second of clarity, Venom jumps on it, and he puts a spear right through Normie Osborne's heart. Who knows what that means going forward, but I hope you're picking this up on Wednesday like I am. Anyways, guys, numbers don't lie. 85% of the people that view my channel are not subscribed. So every time somebody else hits that subscribe button, it really helps the channel grow. I, of course, appreciate anyone who takes the time to leave a like or a comment. And, of course, if you've already subscribed, thank you. Thank you for the great growth I've experienced on this channel in the last month. It's been unbelievable. I sincerely appreciate it. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I did taking the time to put it together. Guys, that's all I got. Real Comic Stacks. Out.